Welcome to Khetz Tutorials, and in this video, I'll be covering question 3 from 1.1 exercises in James Stewart's calculus. So we're given this graph and we're asked a bunch of questions. Let's start with the first one. So it says, state the value of f of 1. So f of 1 just basically means the y value at 1, at an x value of 1. So you're going to come to 1, then go up to locate the y value. And if you count, this is 1, 2, 3. So f of 1 is 3. Right, the next question says estimate the value of f of minus 1. So once again, we're going to find the y value at an x of minus 1. So minus 1 somewhere there. And if you go down to try and estimate what the y value might be, then that corresponds to some point there. And it's round about negative 0.2, so it's on the negative side of y, and doesn't look like it's halfway, so it can't be on the 0.4, 0.3, or 0.5 side. So a safe estimate will be around about negative 0.2, and we have this sign to show that this is an approximation. Right, then C, for what values of x is f of x equals 1? In other words, for which x values do we have a y equal to 1? So we're going to come to 1, which is over there, and we're going to see which x values correspond to this. So the first x value is 0, then the other one is over there, and that is 3. So the answer to this is x equals 0 and x equals 3. So they're just asking where you have y value of 1. So which x values correspond to those points? So at this point here, coordinates are 0, 1. This point here, the coordinates are 3, 1. So we're supposed to give the x coordinates as the answer. And the next question says, estimate the value of x such that the y is 0. So once again, we just ask for x values where y is 0. So in this case, we're dealing with 0. So y value of 0 would be on the x-axis. So there at that point. And if you were to approximate that, that's around 0.7, 0.8. So the x there would be around negative 0.8 on the negative side. And E says, state the domain and range. So the range is the list of all x values which are found on this function. So if you check, we move from this point all the way to that point. So those x values are defined, or they can be found on this graph. And at that point, we have minus 2. Then on this side, we have 4. So these are our bounds. So x as the domain is an element of minus 2 to 4. Okay, so that is the domain. Then the range, it is all our y values which are included in here. So the lower bound will be there at minus 1, and the upper bound will be there at 3. So y is an element of minus 1 to 3. Then the last question says, on what interval is f increasing? So for an increase, as you move from left to right, or as x increases, we expect y to increase. So that's how you determine places where you have an increase. In other words, as you move from left to right, what happens to the y? And we're looking for a case where the y is increasing. So always look at the y when you answer these questions as you move from left to right. So if we scan our graph, starting from this point, as we go to the right, it's increasing, the y values are going up until that point. Up to this point, the y values are going down. So between this x value and that x value, which corresponds to that point, that is where we have an increase.